Right, so we warn everybody we're on live baby cells.
Right, we are. Oh dear.
Any apologies?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I've got apologies from Prue Blake, Peter Jacobson, Thomas Dell.
All right, we need Peter here sometime. All right, to note the meetings of the last meeting, to note the minutes of the last meeting, sorry, which were approved at full council. And then, to receive information from the town clerk regarding a proposal of Christmas lights moves from being a working group that feeds into the planning, property and services to becoming a standard committee in its own right.
Yes, Madam Chair. As you know, the Town Council, we've been going through the process of revising our key documents. And the scheme of delegation and the standing orders, be two of them. The scheme of delegation dictates what is a standing committee, and a standing committee has its own abilities to spend budget that's allocated to it. Yeah. Currently, the Christmas lights is a working group of the of the property planning, property and services committee, which then has to okay any spend from this committee, from this working group. The proposal in the revised document, which will go to full council in September, is that this becomes not a working group, but Beverley Town Council Christmas Lights Committee. So it becomes a standing committee, and the budget that's allocated to lights, this committee can allocate the spend rather than having to get requests from PPS, which then goes to full council. It'll just be this committee's minutes to full council. So it takes out that middle chunk, which means we could get on with things quicker. The proposal being 5 members of the town council, because we've been advised it's always best to keep an odd number. And part of the recommendation is to change other committees to make sure that they're odd as well. So 5 members.
They're all odd.
You said that, Councillor, I didn't. However, with committees, you can still say in standing orders that you have representation from external bodies. So the Christmas lights appeal, the Lions, etc., would still be on it. I'm seeking advice as to grab their voting rights, because I'm a bit confused on that. But if they didn't get to vote, because they'd still be an instrumental part of the group. And it would just mean that things can move on swifter with purchases. This is it would acknowledge the town council's desire to make sure that Christmas lights works well in Beverley. Shows how important it is by this becoming a committee rather than a working group. The other aspect of it is that within the terms of the committee, it would also include all year lighting. The council to look at that, and I know a lot of the stuff that Duncan's been looking at is to how lights that go up at Christmas can stay throughout the year, because during the darkness and during Christmas time they appear festive, but at the time they do lighten up the town and make different times of the year give a different effect. So that's the proposed way forward, is to see what the members of the working group think of that.
Sounds sensible to me that, as I say, it would make things quicker. I can't see anything against it. Can you, Duncan?
No, I can't. I think it's sense, really. It's just how quorum. Does have to be 5 council members on it, then 3 to be quorate. Is that what we're looking at? Yeah. Because that, well, anyway, it wouldn't put us in any worse situation than we are at the moment.
No.
Because, I mean, to be fair, if it's got to go back somewhere to get approved, it's got to go back somewhere to be approved if we are quorate enough to do it. So it should hopefully just short circuit things, which would be good.
I think it's beholden on the councillors to decide that when they're putting on people on committees, that those people can attend those committees, because a lot of people have enthusiasm, but lives change and people have jobs, etc. These meetings take place during the day, but it might be that they take place in an evening if the majority can't make it. So I think because it's a relatively small number of people, we can have a bit of flexibility with the timings of it. If we find that the majority of people on it are happy with the daytime, 5, we stay in the daytime. If it's in the evening, it's in the evening. But I think 5 with a quorum of 3, that's kind of what we've had anyway.
Yeah. Because who else is on it? Tom and Peter?
It's councillors Jack, Willis, Horsley and Thomas Dell. So there are only 4 councillors on it. So we're raising 1 more councillor. And that would therefore, if you've got 3 quorate, by 1 more councillor, it doesn't mean there's more viability of it being definitely quorate. You're raising your number.
Yeah. It sounds to me sensible to go ahead with it. So do you want a proposal from one of us or?
It was just to inform you that we don't need a proposal as such because it'll be in the council decide it when they decide on the scheme of delegation. But it's in a working group. It's informing you, and everyone seems supportive of it.
Yeah.
So it's not something we have to worry about too much when they're going through that. I also wanted to, with Joy being here, representing the lights fundraising group as well, being informed of this.
Yeah. No, that all sounds sensible. Yep, bless you. Don't go sneezing or coughing or whatever. Else we worry. Michael, turn that down.
He's got his hand up.
I think Councillor Horsley wishes to speak.
Yes, can I suggest that we do formally record our support for that move?
Yeah, I can minute that the group formally supports it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to update. We haven't got Peter Jacobson here, so do we have any information from him? Duncan, have you been in contact?
Well, Peter's said that they're going to get cracking with it now. He's been and he's sorted out the things that need to go and be repaired, hasn't he, Matt? Yeah.
So, he did say there's anything from this meeting to let him know, but it might be better that Duncan has a call and has a chat with him to make sure everything is.
Hey, well, it's my intention. I'll probably phone him tomorrow and say, hey, Peter, we need to meet for 10, 15 minutes and just walk around things and just check and be absolutely certain where we are and just give him a bit, make sure things are moving forward as rapidly as we'd hope, because otherwise we're going to be saying.
It's September now. I mean, I know it's the 1st of September, but we are getting.
He said that he was going to put the lights up. Lights are going to be going up all through this month because we've got so many to put over the county. Yeah. The problem we've got really is there isn't really anybody else who could practically do it, is there?
That's true, yeah.
That's the problem, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Could suggest if it's needed, Duncan and Peter could come in here and we could have a chat in here in an informal meeting to discuss anything that needs doing.
I'll suggest to meet Peter. We could meet here and then just have a quick walk around or a quick drive around. You know where we are, what we've got ordered, and whatever. Right, I'll take that forward tomorrow, Matt.
Yeah. Let me know when he is. If I'm available, I'll come. Okay. Right. So new purchases. Acting town clerk to report.
Everything that was requested in the previous meeting that went to PPS has been purchased, because they've not all arrived yet, because they don't start arriving until September, and one of the items is still being put together. Everything that was requested has been purchased. The one thing I want to double check is how many extra. I need to double check with Carol, because I can't quite remember where we are with the extra balls. So if Carol's in tomorrow, Joy, so I'll talk to Carol tomorrow. I'll give you a bell.
Okay. Have we got any problems with deliveries, with what's going on with things being imported and stuff? Do we know?
Not that we know. Nothing that's been reported to us this year.
Good. Okay. All right.
Just might arrive by runner rather than by lorry.
It would be better, yes. Quicker. No, I'm not going to be a lorry driver. That's gone past. Potential new purchases. Again, Matt, it's you.
I've been talking to Tony Davis, who's the council's Tony the plant man.
Yeah.
He's going to try and get me some quotes for some. There are heavy pots that can't be moved by members of the public, which you put a real Christmas tree in, but they have lights attached to the pot, which are solar powered, but also have a lithium battery. With the idea of that could be a potential resolution to putting something on Salmon Road shops if there's an issue of getting something connected up to the electric. And with these items, the cost can be defrayed over 3 years. So he's going to get back to me with those prices, because that might be an alternative way to put something there if the electrical infrastructure isn't there. But with them also having a lithium battery, it ensures that regardless of how much light the solar panel aspect gets, they will remain lit. So I'll feed that back if you're all right for me to kind of looking into that.
No, that sounds good. Oh, thank you, Matt. Yes. That sounds a good idea.
Because now the two places where we've suggested, the end of the Beck and Salmon Road, both, to be fair, I don't think it should be a problem, but it's a case of when we see Peter, just going out and having a look and say, hey,
Yeah.
Peter, if we want something here, but you can only do that by grabbing hold of him and taking him out there and sitting, looking at it.
Yeah.
Round, yeah.
I have visions of you grabbing him. Okay. So any other issues, infrastructure issues?
I don't think until Duncan's spoken to Peter Jacobson that we'll have
I think
anything else on infrastructure.
Yeah. And what about and then it says switch on ceremony. I think
This is usually the Lions that manage it. I think we may do some photocopying for them for their programme, but I don't know anything more. Does anyone else?
I spoke to Jeff Sargrove, and they're intending doing it, but I have offered our help because they're an aging group and there's fewer and fewer of them all the time, and just said, if you need some help to make sure it happens, Jeff, just have a word, because both ourselves and also Westwood Lions would help the Beverley Lions, make it happen, I think.
I think people are still being very cautious as well with any sort of events at the moment, and it's not a huge event, but I think people will still take extreme care with them.
Yeah. Are we're not having the children and all that stuff, are we? So that's
they have their own little bit. They have a little service.
Yeah.
And,
that's fine.
It's going to go like it happened. I think it happened last year, didn't it? I think it did.
And I don't think, and there won't be that many people, so I don't see it's going to.
It gets less and less going to it every year, to be honest.
Yeah. That's year. Yeah.
Sort of there's like the mothers and fathers of the children who are singing in the choir, but and a few others, and that's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the key to any event like that. The more kids you get from a school or schools, the more parents and family you get attending. But last year was so difficult to do that. And it is increasingly, the rules and regulations I know from my previous job to do something like that for a school are increasing, especially it's something at a weekend. But like I said, I think Town Council supported in kind by doing things like the photocopying for the brochures, for their little pamphlet. I think one of the issues last year as well is people couldn't see in public.
Oh yes, of course, yeah.
Some buskers are here, they shouldn't be allowed. But I think that was one of the big issues last year, that they couldn't physically do some of the stuff, even if they were there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Any other issues? Anybody? David? Anything?
No.
Duncan? Anything?
No.
Are we done?
Unless we've heard from St Mary's School, Eden Road, as to putting something there.
Oh yeah, that was something that I think Duncan was looking at, the idea of something on that corner.
Yeah.
I think it was discussed last time.
Now we need to ask the school whether they were favourable before we go ahead, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We can do that. Yeah.
It might be worth seeing whether it's infrastructure is possible before we even contact the school. So I think if we said we want to do something there, then we physically can't. If we physically can't do it, there's no point in doing any further consultation.
Yeah.
But we can discuss it with Peter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Any other issues, anybody? I can't believe that's it. That's one of the quickest meetings we've ever had.
Well,
We'll have you chair most meetings in the future, Councillor Willis.
When's our next meeting?
Our next meeting, just hold with me, is October.
I think it must be October, yeah.
Yes, the 20th of October.
Got it. Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that between now and then we can have informal things if we need to with Peter Jacobson So to actually meet to do stuff, then report back at that meeting.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for
Thank
attending.
you.
All of us as who did. And we need to ask somebody from the council to join us, don't we?
Yeah, well, when the scheme of delegation is hopefully approved,